Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And thank you for tuning in to our WWE edition. We're going to talk all things SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, and NXT. With only a few weeks left of WrestleMania, we got a lot of things to cover. As always, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you ain't following, if you haven't 5-star rated, what are you doing? Do that. It's the only way you can get your favorite two dudes out there to the public so everybody can see how great this podcast truly is. Ryan, are you ready?
I'm ready, man. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Let's go.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to Two Dudes with Attitudes, a pro wrestling podcast. We appreciate you all and your love and support. And with that said, it's WWE time. Ryan, are you ready? We got a jam-packed show.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks in the WWE, so let's get into it, man.
For good and for bad. All right, SmackDown. Where to start? You know what? Let's start. We had an announcement for a Hall of Fame, and you know how I feel about the Hall of Fame this year. I am not digging it. I am not happy with Demolition not going, with the natural disasters instead. Also, how come every week I get a Hall of Fame promo video on every WWE product I watch, and it's only Triple H and his matches? See, the only one going to the Hall of Fame. I didn't.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
I'm every week it's like a new thing about what he's done so great, but I don't see anything about what the natural disasters did great. So, and who else is in the Hall of Fame? I don't even know who else is in it.
Lex Luger.
You know,
yeah.
Oh yeah. What is Lex? He didn't know Lex Express on here. Nothing. No.
Right. Nothing.
Leaving WWE and walking in on Nitro. Nothing. No beating Hogan and WC. No, nothing at all. All right, cool. So, but with that said, we got another, and the first ever match has been inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Ryan, if you were gonna think, right, one match, okay, you don't know what match I'm gonna say right now. If I told you, Ryan, Triple H has picked the first ever match to go into the Hall of Fame, what match is it?
I would say that's a tough one. Probably something with Shawn Michaels. Yeah, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon ladder match.
So see, I would think, okay, so you're going like pure quality. See, if I was to pick, if I'm thinking outside, I would say Hogan and Andre, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a
WrestleMania 3, because that was like the moment, right, that kind of put
WWE on the map. Yeah.
So we're going there. You're saying Shawn Michaels against someone. Other people probably would say like an Undertaker WrestleMania. You know what I mean? You're really thinking like outside the box. So what match did we get, ladies and gentlemen? Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart at WrestleMania 13. Now, I'm not going to take away from the match because, yes, this match is infamous for the bloody face with the sharpshooter. It put Steve Austin on the map, and it was for the first ever possible double turn where Bret became the bad guy, became Blame Canada, and Stone Cold became the uber baby face. But a lot more happened after that for Steve Austin to become who he was, so I still don't buy that as the main moment, but it was a great moment. But what do you think? How are you feeling about this? Am I outside of the box because I hate Bret Hart, or is it just not? I just feel like the first one ever, why are we doing this? And you have reasons, so you let me know. You had some feelings on why this is the first.
I think they're doing it to confirm that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be at WrestleMania 41 this year. He wasn't there last year. A lot of people thought he was going to be the guy, but they had the Undertaker do it instead to chokeslam The Rock and help Cody win. So I think this year we're going to get kind of this almost the same type thing, but this time Stone Cold's going to be there. And now with him going into the Hall of Fame again with Bret Hart again, it's going to basically confirm that he's going to show up at one of the nights of WrestleMania 41. And maybe he stuns John Cena. Maybe he helps Cody win. Maybe he does something. I don't know. Maybe he helps CM Punk. Maybe he helps Roman Reigns. There's a lot of options that they can go, but I do think he's showing up at WrestleMania 41, and this kind of just confirms that. But I don't like this match going into the Hall of Fame. Not the first one. It's a Hall of Fame worthy match, but not the very, very first ever, Hall of Fame match. This is just, I don't like this match. And Bret Hart being in the Hall of Fame 3 times now as himself, the Hart Foundation, and now in this match, Stone Cold going in twice. You could have put, like you said, Hogan and Andre. I like that match. I think there's too much controversy right now around Hulk Hogan, so I think maybe that may be why they didn't go that route.
They're still pushing him though. Real
American they are.
It's all over Netflix. It's not.
Yeah, that's true. So. That's true. But I think from a perception standpoint, from a fan, like he got booed when he went out there. Imagine him giving a speech at the Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, which is right next to California where he got booed. So so I think I don't hate this match, but I don't think it should have been the first ever Hall of Fame match for sure.
Yeah, no, and if you're going to have Hall of Fame matches, this will be in there eventually. I think the purpose is, you know what I mean? I think obviously it had something to do with Bret Hart as well, because as soon as that happened, he went on and you posted a TikTok about it, shitting all over AEW. So obviously all of this was like a planned reason. But I 100% don't like the fact that Bret Hart is the first ever 3-time Hall of Famer before the GOAT Shawn Michaels, because Shawn should be in for the Rockers. Why the hell are the Rockers not in? Like, I don't know. So that's an easy. I mean, he's in for himself, DX, not the Rockers. And then matches? Oh, come on. You're going to tell me Bret Austin is better than a lot? Like you said, Shawn and Razor ladder match at WrestleMania 10. I mean, that's legend. Wait for it. Dairy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Shawn versus Undertaker at any WrestleMania. Shoot, even Shawn versus Mankind. I know it doesn't have the same impact, but it's still a legendary match. Or even if you wanted to, put them both in. Shawn Bret WrestleMania 12, first Iron Man match in WWE. I mean, there's so many other options. That's my thing. You
could have done the screw job. I mean, but that would get Bret Hart in again. But you could have done the
fine with that
screw
as long
job.
As,
But that moment is what really helped launch the Attitude Era to make WWE what it became with Stone Cold and The Undertaker and The Rock, because of Vince McMahon essentially becoming an on-screen character and going heel and being that heel authority figure in the WWE, and that kind of helped them win the Monday Night Wars when he screwed Bret Hart. So I would have been fine for that being the first match. There's so many other matches. Anything Austin McMahon could have gone in, but I know Vince is a controversial.
They're not doing that right now.
Yeah. So, but even then, like, anything that could have put the WWE on the map. So yeah, but Austin Bret Hart. I don't even think the match was all that great, to be honest with you. But that's just me.
Well, so that's what I'm saying, though. So if you're going off of the impact of it, then there's like I said, Hogan and Andre there alone is what put WWE made WrestleMania was like not as successful as it was supposed to be. That was why we have WrestleMania today. That match, the first 2 WrestleManias didn't blow the house off the roof off the buildings. You know what I mean? It wasn't as huge as they wanted it to be. WrestleMania 3 is the reason. You know what I mean? No matter how many seats were there or not there, that was the match. So it's crazy that they didn't pick that first. I'm actually surprised it wasn't Triple H versus The Rock at Vengeance Day or something.
At Backlash 2000, where Stone Cold came out.
I'm surprised it wasn't that. So the Royal Rumble when Triple H came back. But anyway,
the match where he tore his quad on Monday Night Raw.
That match. Yeah. Oh, Wado. All right, let's get in some good stuff. And we had Naomi. She cut a promo, and it wasn't in the ring. It was behind the scenes. It was done really well. What'd you think about it? She went at it. She even cried.
This was everything I wanted out of Naomi and Jade. And, the thing I liked about it, though, is she continues to call out Bianca Belair as well as Jade Cargill. So kind of makes me think that Bianca's not quite out of the loop on this story yet. She's focusing on Rhea right now and Io and everything going on with Monday Night Raw and the Women's Championship. But, a lot of things that she was saying also made a lot of sense that, she thought she was doing the right thing. She said that, Jake came in and kind of took my spot and took my place. I don't understand how she can come in out of nowhere and take my place with you. Who inspired you, Bianca? Who inspired women over the last decade? Who's had your back? It's been me, not Jade. And, again, it kind of goes back to the sympathetic heels that the WWE has been creating. And, I kind of side with Naomi in this whole thing because she's right. She's justified in everything. So I love this promo. To me, this felt like the Naomi coming out party. This was one of the best things I've seen Naomi do in her entire wrestling career. And that includes when she was Trinity Fatu in TNA. Like, this was one of the best things I've ever seen her do.
Yeah, you're right. And this is what they should have done when they got her from TNA, because she was a huge star in TNA, and then they kind of took away her momentum when they brought her over. And now this is what she needed. Like I said, just like Bianca, sometimes you get stale as a babyface and you need that kind of edge to get you back on. Look at the New Day. Same thing's going on with them. But yeah, I loved it. And I like that she had emotion, that she was crying when she was talking about it, because it pained her to do this, just like Kevin Owens, just like Drew McIntyre. That's the day and age of heels now, it looks like, in the WWE, and I'm all for it. So yeah, powerful stuff. And I like that Jade was looking for her afterwards. And like you said, I'm glad, and we'll get into Bianca Belair later, but that they're still kind of hinting that she could be. I mean, imagine if she wins at Mania and then shows that she did turn and help the Naomi. And now we have heel Bianca, heel Naomi with the championship around her way. I mean, that's big stuff right there. And speaking of big stuff, our boy, one of our favorites on Two Dudes with Attitudes, Drew McIntyre, got a very rare thing happening on SmackDown, and he won a match. And I have to say, the best part about him winning the match is that Kevin Owens helped him beat Randy Orton, helped him get the win. And what does Drew McIntyre do when he goes backstage? Talks about how finally he got a win because he wasn't cheated out of his victory or whatever, that he was like, yeah, that's what happens when people don't help other people win and blah, 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 completely pretending like he didn't just get help to win his match. But Drew needed this big time. And then afterwards, as we know, Drew got beat up by one Damian Priest. And I want you to let me know, you can, after you talk about this match and how happy you are, but he got thrown through a car windshield. And then they cut back to CM Punk walking into the arena, stopping and looking at Drew. And I know that like Punk has the Drew McIntyre beef, you know what I mean? That he was kind of or did he look at him for the shot back at AEW about the broken windshield with Jack Perry? Did you think that? I didn't see anybody talk about it online, but that's the number one I thought. I'm like, really, WWE, we're calling back to like the whole windshield thing again?
That's 100% what it was.
Right?
And I think it was 100%. I think it was like, it was fitting that it was CM Punk that did it because of the beef with Jack Perry, but also the feud with Drew McIntyre, and they did it right on the car window. And yeah, I mean, he's smirking about it. That's 100% a shot at AEW. And yeah, and Drew McIntyre even tweeted on X that he wrote "real glass" in all capital letters, and then he wrote ... Oh, seriously, real glass got in my eye, and so he got real glass in his eye, and medics had to like help him, you know, get the glass out of his eye from that spot. Ugh. So that was 100% a shot at AEW, especially with the real glass tweet from McIntyre. But also,
yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah,
why is it okay for WWE to do this but not AEW? Like, why did CM Punk have a problem with it in AEW but not WWE? And then it also led to Drew McIntyre getting glass in his eye. So obviously, it's a dangerous spot. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just a hypocrisy for me that I find funny.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think it was because, and not to defend Punk, but I think it's because Punk was in charge, right? And so he was saying that it was ruining this. WWE is a big, like, they don't give two. He's probably like, whatever. If WWE wants to blow their money and do rental companies bad, then it is what it is. I don't know. Which is and maybe, fine, maybe WWE fixes the windshield. I mean, like, you don't think they have a windshield dude who pop in a new window for $200? Like, I think WWE's okay with that. They're selling WrestleMania tickets $2 billion a pop. So I mean,
I'm sure they're not hurting for money, but yeah, it's just, we got to stop with these shots at AEW. Like we criticized AEW for it. We got to stop it with WWE, and WWE's mentioned them like 6 or 7 times. And this week alone, Punk cut a promo on Raw that we talked about last week, where he said that he worked with children, and then on SmackDown that they had this thing with Drew McIntyre, and then we get to John Cena and Cody Rhodes on Raw.
And NXT, so it's a whole. Every episode had AEW in it, and once again, like I've always said, if you talk about the other company, you're Bush League. So WWE needs to be better than that. And speaking of, let's get into the elephant in the room: Roman, Punk, Seth contract signing. What'd you think?
So, right as of right now, Wednesday, April. Jesus, it's April already. April 2nd, 2025. I have a problem with this match main eventing WrestleMania. But not for the reasons that everyone thinks. It has nothing to do with the women, and it has nothing to do with the Rumble winners not getting the spot. Although I do think they need to stop with that narrative of the Royal Rumble winner gets a main event match at WrestleMania, because they're not. So they need to stop saying that. If they're like, they get a title shot, but they don't. It doesn't always have to be the main event. My problem with this, as of right now, and this could change come SmackDown this week or Raw next week or SmackDown next week or even at WrestleMania. Why is this match the main event? What is at stake? Like, there's nothing at stake. This is going to close out night 1 of WrestleMania, but there's nothing at stake. And yet there's still the favor that CM Punk is owed, and it's the main event. And, you know, it was a touching moment for Punk, and I'm happy for him to get the main event of night 1. And, you know, you could tell that he had no idea, and that this was a shock for him, and he was in tears, and it was a really well done spot. So I give him credit for that. But even if the favor is Paul Heyman joining CM Punk and turning on Roman Reigns, okay, like, big deal. Like, there's no title change. Even if Seth Rollins turns heel and Paul Heyman breaks both Roman Reigns and CM Punk's heart, and he aligns with Seth Rollins, okay, like, there's no, he didn't win the title. There's no, like, what's he get, bragging rights? Like, so that's the only thing. Like, if there's no title on the line, there's no number 1 contendership, there's nothing right now that, you know, plays a factor. I don't like that this is the main event. The great story between the 3 guys, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing on the line.
Mm-hmm. No, not the only intriguing thing is the favor, and that's why they ended it that way, right? That's the only thing I think people are interested in, because I said it before. The only way this match is going to turn out good, in my opinion, is if Paul joins Seth Rollins. But even in the future, that doesn't even make any sense, because Seth is the outlier here. Seth is in this match because he hates CM Punk, and that's really what we got out of it, right? Roman comes out, he has the aura, the crowd takes over, they chant Roman Reigns like he's on Ted Lasso, and that's basically it. And then CM Punk, and then Seth Rollins comes out and bickers and bitches and moans. Then CM Punk, and then Punk comes out and basically is told by Paul Heyman, who makes out with him, and tells him basically that you're gonna main event WrestleMania. Finally, he has tears to his eyes. Roman Reigns doesn't even care that Paul Heyman, he actually told him to go tell him. And then Seth Rollins just gets mad. Like, no,
like, you're main eventing too. Yeah.
No, not on my watch, mister. You're not gonna main event It was like, all like, you're only in it because you have hate for him. Like, it just, the triple.
But you're also in the main event too. Like,
so why are you mad? Yeah, it didn't. None of it made sense. And then he closes it with, "But Paul, that wasn't the favor," which is weird to me, because then why did he cry? Like, why have the tears and the I can't handle it. I finally get to do it, and then you're like, "But that's not the favor, bitch." Like, I want more to come. I'm like, then why did you tear up? What? I don't get it.
And even if, like, I've seen a lot of people speculate online that the favor is CM Punk or Roman or Seth gets added to the night 2 main event.
That makes no sense.
That doesn't make any sense either. Like, it makes zero sense. So this favor, it better be something monumental, because right now, like, I can't think of anything else that it would be other than Paul Heyman having to come be in CM Punk's corner. And then, but again, even if he turns on both Punk and Roman, big deal. Like, Seth doesn't have a title. He just wins bragging rights. He's a heel now. Ooh, great. Yeah. But there's, like, John Cena or Cody Rhodes will still be champion. Gunther or Jey Uso will be world heavyweight champion. So there's nothing on the line. That's what I don't like about it.
Well, no, nothing at all, unless they are going to do that. But I don't see how that makes sense, because adding them into Jey and Gunther doesn't make sense, and adding them into Cody and Cena doesn't.
And I don't think they should do that. Sense. You know, they won the Rumble and Cena won the Chamber. Like, that. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be, well, CM Punk, we feel bad for you, so you get the title shot. No, you didn't do your part. You didn't win the Rumble. You didn't win the elimination. I don't know. I don't know what this favor could be.
It could be a future title shot. It could be if Punk wins because he got his Mania moment, then maybe he gets it at, I don't know,
Rumble, the Raw after Mania.
Raw after Mania. I don't know. Maybe he gets a title shot of the winner of Cody Cena. I mean, at least that gives it, making it a number 1 contenders triple threat at least gives it legs. But like you said, there's no point to this. This match is just bragging rights.
But also, we're getting lost in the favor, but the favor only benefits Punk. So, like, what if Punk loses? Does he not get main event of night 2 of WrestleMania? Does he not get the title, or does Roman get the title shot instead? Does CM Punk get the title shot, or does, who gets it? It's just or is it only for CM Punk? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, it's very weird and confusing. I don't understand it whatsoever. But with that said, let's get into some Monday Night Raw, because this is who people are trying to speculate and overthink it. And I don't think the favor is added into the.
No,
they're not going to have another triple threat, and that's why people think it's main eventing. But John Cena and Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. Promo 3. So what'd you think about this promo?
So this was the better of the 3 promos that we've had, because they both guys got their shots in, both guys got their licks in, and I have mixed opinions on it though. I don't like. I watched it the first time I watched it. I was like, oh man, Cody Rhodes really held his own with John Cena, and Cody Rhodes like won this battle, and it was good. But then I rewatched it, and I'm like, what exactly did Cody Rhodes really say to John Cena? And all he said was, he made a dick joke. He made some weird comment about, you wish you were hanging out with Zac Efron and wishing you were 16, which was a weird line. He said that the crowd...
see, A minor? I didn't get the...
I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
But also, he mentioned... he mentioned that the crowd never tells me that I can't wrestle. They've never said that you can't wrestle to me. And that, what was the other big line? It was just like, those were the 3 big things that, and so I just kind of felt like that's really all Cody Rhodes said. And, and to me, like, it was all low hanging fruit, cheap shot type stuff. And John Cena kind of went hardcore, but I also feel like John Cena would have said the same exact thing if he was a babyface. So, I don't really think he did anything different as a heel, because this is what he did to Jimmy Uso. This is what he did to Solo Sikoa. And this is what he did to Austin Theory and Roman Reigns all those years ago, and so many others. And he was the babyface then. He was hustle, loyalty, respect. And he completely ragged on their career. And so, like, I think John Cena got the better of Cody this time around, but I also was somewhat disappointed in John Cena, because he would have said the exact same stuff as a babyface that he said as a heel, so he didn't really do anything different. But I also thought Cody held his own, but I also don't think Cody Rhodes really said anything at the same time. So it was a mixed bag of emotions for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was by far the best promo so far.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nonetheless, but you're right. Cena. The thing I don't like about Cena promos is that he always touches on real life situations. Like you're saying, the Cody Rhodes thing, talking about the dick and the jorts and like stuff like that. Like, okay, maybe they're like cheesy lines, but at least he's not like personally attacking John Cena.
True.
I mean, even the A minor line, it's not like John Cena's been in trouble for hooking up with 16-year-old kids. So it's like just it's good shots and so on and so on. But John Cena always makes things personal, and I can bring up every single time he's ever done it in the history of it. But I mean, most recently was Austin Theory. He like legit went at Austin Theory and was like burying him. And then for what reason? For nothing. And it didn't do anything for Austin Theory, because it doesn't build people up, bringing out the flaws. But he brought out all sorts of his flaws with his lisps, with his taking money from a billionaire, with his like, Stardust thing, and him like literally being a John Cena wannabe. He's like, all you are is me. You're just trying to beat me and live in my shadow. Why don't you go buy a Fanatics championship belt? And then like he's literally pointing out things that people don't like about Cody Rhodes and bringing them to the light. I don't understand that ever. And I don't think it does anybody any good. And it's always how Cena is. And once again, when Cena turned, I got so much crap for saying I didn't like it. I got so much crap for saying it was forced and that it was a winged idea just to do it. And I'm 100% right. It is. You can tell, because John Cena has no vision on his character. He's good at his job. He can cut a promo. He can deliver. Yes, we all know that. He's fantastic. One of the greatest of all time. But he doesn't have a vision for his heel character. And I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to lose at Mania and we're going to be done with it. I think this is 100% a money grab. That's all it is. And it's going to be over with. And I do think the European tour hurt it as well, because they want to see John Cena. They're never going to see him again. So they cheer him. They're hollering and hooting. They're not like booing this man. He doesn't even feel like a heel.
At one point during the promo, they were chanting for Cena and booing Cody Rhodes, because Cena was like obliterating Cody.
Yes.
And then Cody like flipped it back on him, and he did a great job with it and got the crowd back on their side. But the other thing that Cody mentioned was Vince McMahon, and he's like, "Oh, you were pushed by."
Line. Yeah.
It was, but we forget that who brought Cody Rhodes from AEW to the WWE, who flew to Atlanta to make Cody Rhodes the guy. And that was one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. It wasn't Triple H. It was Vince McMahon who met with him, and similar to what CM Punk and Triple H did, they like sat down and like hashed out everything, and then he signed this contract and he came over to WrestleMania 38. Yeah. So technically Vince did kind of get behind Cody as well.
But I thought that was another good line. I actually liked the Dick Jorts line. I thought it was funny too. I mean, I liked it, and I like that. I even like that he said you're still my hero, but you're a piece of shit. Like I like that because the famous thing is don't meet your heroes, right? Because they're probably going to disappoint you. So I didn't mind it all, and I like that Cody hit him in the his move at the end too, and stood on top, threw his hat on him. I liked it all. I thought it was at least well done. We needed them to touch. They did. Cody Rhodes got the upper hand, which he should, because Cena will probably get it right before Mania. But nonetheless, I thought everything was well done. I just don't think they have a proper direction. I don't think they know where they're going with anything.
Yeah, and my thing too now is where do they go with it? Because if the reports are true that Cena's not coming back until the week of WrestleMania, that's like 2 weeks. Can Cody Rhodes carry this by himself? Can Cody Rhodes do this on his we need John Cena. Are they going to do vignettes? Are they going to bring The Rock back in between now and then? Because we also need that element to be told.
Well, and Cody brought that up too. He was like,
did.
You did this to sell your soul to The Rock, and Cena kind of ignored it. So I don't know where they're.
Yeah. It's almost like they're kind of lost in everything. And
like I said last week.
Like I said last week, they lost the plot on this story, and I feel like they had a chance to get it back this week, but instead they. I still think they're lost a little bit, but they got it back a little bit, but they're still lost.
I don't think they're lost because I don't think they ever had it. Let's talk about the other title match, and that was one Gunther. He wrestled Jimmy Uso. He beats Jimmy Uso. He zip ties Jey Uso to the ropes and then puts a bloody ass beat down. I texted you literally before it happened saying this is going to, I was like, he's going to get Rocky, isn't he? He's going to get Drago and Apollo Creed, and it freaking happened. I could just sense it. And especially as soon as Jey was like, yo, don't get hurt out there. That was like exactly what Rocky told Apollo. I was like, oh my God, they're doing it. But this is what we needed for this match to feel important. That's what we needed. It sucks because now Jimmy's not going to WrestleMania, obviously. I'm assuming he's done. He's written off until when he helps Jey beat Gunther at WrestleMania to have that moment, which is going to feel really weird when it's the third match of the card. But when Jay's having his moment on the ring ropes and then, Bianca Belair's walking out after him, like, get out of the way. We got our ring entrance. It's not going to close anything. But it was nice. It was a good moment. And props to Jimmy, man. Jimmy I haven't seen that much blood on WWE TV since, I don't know, Austin and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. It was pretty damn bloody. It was a cool scene to see. I like that. Jey, I wish we would have saw what I also predicted of Jey, like holding Jimmy and like staring at Gunther, like, why'd you do this? That would have felt a little bit more. But nonetheless, good segment. I think it's what it's needed. And the one thing about Triple H is that he's giving us probably the worst WrestleMania card in quite some time. I'm not going to say ever, but this is one of the worst WrestleMania cards possibly to date. And I think that's another reason why I tended to certain, but he's doing his best to get us invested on all of these matches. And that's something he did a lot of this week, was making me interested in matches I don't care about. And so this is another one where he did it. And I think it's going to make Jey a star when he can overthrow this unbeatable monster in Gunther, who destroyed his brother.
No, I think this is exactly what this match needed. Because coming into it, this was probably the most poorly booked match and the poorly built match we had going into WrestleMania. And now I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait for Jey to get his comeuppance and to take down Gunther. I'm still not convinced Jey's winning, but I think it's going to be a fantastic match. And that scene with Gunther wiping the blood on himself and completely drenched in Jimmy Uso's blood. It was just a fantastic moment and a cool way to get us back invested in the story. And that's, like you said, that's exactly what we needed. And the best part too is when you texted me, you were like, they're going to Rocky 4, was it Rocky 3 where they did that, or Rocky 4?
Rocky 4 is Drago. Yeah. Rocky 3 is Mr. T. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So you were like, they're going to Rocky 4 this, aren't they? And you were like, oh wait, maybe not, because they went to commercial. And then they came back, and then
I was like, yes, they are.
Yeah, and then they came back and they did it, and I was like, yeah, it was weird because they, like, the match ended and they went to commercial, and then I was like, okay, I guess we're just moving on, And then they came back, and he continued the beatdown from there. And that was really cool too, how they did that. So
I like that even better because it's not Corey Graves. He wasn't on that night. It was like
Wade Barrett and Pat McAfee.
Wade Barrett, who's
Michael Cole.
Trust me, I'm not praising Pat McAfee. That's an idiot. But but Wade Barrett said he left the building. Gunther had left the building and he's back. I like that they like even played into that like Gunther had left and just came back just to whoop that ass. It made it feel even more impactful. So
yeah. But the only thing I didn't like was Jason Jordan and security people were just like standing at ringside for like the entire time. None of them have any scissors on them to cut these zip ties off of Jey. Like you had to tie him with zip ties. You couldn't use like handcuffs. You couldn't use rope. You couldn't use like anything else. You had to use zip ties and they're just standing there letting Gunther do all this. And Michael Cole's like, can we get security in there? I'm like, they're already out there. They're just standing there watching this.
Yeah,
and then they finally just break it up. Like you could see them like yelling at Gunther to stop. But it was just get in there and like make him stop. But other than
or
that,
at least cut Jey free so he can help his brother.
If something.
Afraid to get in there, at least help him. But Also, can we stop can Michael Cole sit his ass down? I know everybody is so into new Michael Cole because he's not being held back by the man. I don't think Michael Cole is as great as people make him out to be. I have nothing against him. I like Michael Cole. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to stand up always. He stands up more than freaking Pat McAfee. Every single time they cut to him, he's standing up and the other two are sitting down. I'm like, sit down. You have to stand all the time. Everything isn't that epic. Sit down. The New Day look like they're going to get some tag team championship title opportunities in the future. What do you think about this? I'll let you start because you were sad that they hadn't been showing the New Day lately, and now they did.
Yeah, no, I think this is exactly what the New Day needs. This is the tag division needs heel New Day as tag team champions, just like the SmackDown has heel Street Profits as tag champs, and now I feel like that tag division is really starting to take off. The Raw tag division has been stale. It's been stagnant. It's not been used. Why. Yeah, I forgot for a long time who the champions were, and then they haven't been pushing the War Raiders at all, and now they got to put these titles on the New Day. But the New Day needs to get the heat back on them. They need to do something with Big E. They need to go out there. I thought for sure they would get more heat in London when they cut the promo that they were cutting, but I mean they got some heat, but it wasn't the heat that they were getting before they went on this European tour. And I really thought the European crowds put New Day in front of them and they'll get that heat. We'll get the energy back in front of the New Day. And I just don't feel like we've gotten there, but I'm excited for New Day to win the tag team titles at WrestleMania, and they need to win.
And it has to be at Mania. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Two things have to happen. It has to happen at Mania, night one. And then night two in the pregame show and Big E's there, they need to walk up with their titles and rub it in his. If they don't want to get physical, fine. But they need to get back on Big E. They need to tell him how he's a loser, how they are winning this without him. How
they never needed him.
They need to rub it in his face to get their heat back. That's what the New Day need to do. And if they do that, perfect. If they beat the War Raiders on a Monday Night Raw next week, it's not going to have this. They need to do it at Mania. It needs to be a big moment. They need to have their WrestleMania moment. You know what I mean? And that they haven't had since Kofi. And and they need to rub it in the face. Our Biggie had it. Well, not at Mania. So but with that said, the War Raiders, man, I remember they won those tag team titles, and I talked about how stupid of a decision it was, and no one cared about them. And people in my comments were so mad. You don't know what we were talking about, bro. War Raiders are the best tag team. Once again, every time I don't know what I'm talking about, it always comes into how's the War Raiders.
We're right way more than we're ever wrong. That's why I tell my wife all the time too. I'm like, just listen to us one time. Listen to me. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. All right, show ended awkwardly. We had Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the women's championship match. Bianca Belair was the referee. They both put hands on her, so Bianca declared it a no contest or a double DQ or whatever it was. And then Rhea Ripley beat the snot out of both of them. This European crowd does not like Bianca Belair. They've been booing her throughout. And I don't remember the last time I've seen a person get beat up and they were still booing her. They were cheering the F out of Rhea Ripley. And here's the thing, right? Io Sky, we need a heel in this. And I do think what you were talking about with Naomi and Bianca, I think it's going to be Bianca. I mean, she's being forced to be it. I think the crowds and the fans are kind of over her babyface run. So I think she needs to be that heel, but they're not going to boo Io because she's the underdog. They're not going to boo Rhea Ripley because they didn't boo Rhea Ripley when she was with Daddy Dom, for crying out loud. They're just not going to. So it's going to be Bianca. And obviously we're getting a triple threat again. I'm assuming they haven't announced it yet, but what other way? But how do you feel about this? What are you thinking about this triple threat? What you think about the main event closing? We knew it wasn't going to be a real finish.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this match, I've said this a couple of weeks ago, and I stand by it, but they put that title on Io Sky to shock everybody. And the match that we all wanted to see, that everybody wanted to see, was Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, one-on-one. Just like I wanted to see CM Punk and Cody Rhodes one-on-one, and John Cena versus Gunther one-on-one, and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins one-on-one. You do all that, and I think WrestleMania is perfect. But they just added, they put the title change on Io Sky just to put it on Io Sky and to give her something to do going into WrestleMania. She feels like an afterthought in all of this. Rhea looks like a crybaby and everything, and just kind of looks like the way this match has been booked, and the way, like, the contract signing a couple of weeks ago where she threw her name on the contract and then Adam Pearce said no, and now Bianca Belair is the guest referee and the Io's rematch, and even Adam Pearce was like, yeah, we've been trying to get you a rematch for the last 6 weeks. Why didn't you book it 6 weeks? It was just all of it's been really stupid. I'm not excited about this match at WrestleMania, and I don't understand why people were so upset about Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins main eventing night one, but people thought that this match should main event night one. Have we not seen how this thing has been booked? Have we not seen how this thing has been built? Like, in what world would this match main event night one when people have been complaining and dogging about the booking of this match from the very beginning? So I think it should have been Rhea Ripley versus Bianca, and put Io Sky in like the women's tag picture or something, or the Intercontinental Championship picture or something. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this match is going to happen and it'll be great, but I'm just not looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we'll get into NXT too, but just triple threat after triple threat. I mean, what are we doing here? Because a lot of all these triple threats have solo matches that would have been better. You know, like you said, Punk Roman, Punk Seth, Roman Seth, Roman Punk, all of those would have been better.
All of it.
Three of them together, not as great. And that's the same thing here. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, who doesn't want that? Why didn't you go that route? It just doesn't make a lot of sense adding Io Sky in it, and she feels like an afterthought anyway. So it's just, it's really, really weird booking.
And we have, it's double booking too. And we criticize AEW for this, but we have Bianca Belair is involved with this Jade Cargill and Naomi thing. Naomi's promo was pretty much like sucking up to Bianca Belair and be like, I did all this for you, Bianca. Who had your back, Bianca? So obviously Bianca's still sort of involved in that story, as well as the women's championship. So it's too convoluted. Just keep it simple.
I agree. All right. And thinking of keeping it simple, speaking of, let's get into NXT, because they really, really kept it simple. We open up the show with Ava and Stephanie Vaquer, who vacates her North American Women's Championship just after defending both of them. I guess Ava realized that the people didn't want that to happen, but then the NXT crowd booed it and didn't even care that there was a ladder match happening for it at Stand and Deliver. They can give two shits about it. They were booing it. Even Vaquer had to come out and try to say, like, I'm sorry about this decision. Make it make sense. I mean, it made sense for her to vacate, but why didn't she vacate? Like, why was this to get her over a little bit more? Because Ava brought up the fact that she's like the only person to defend two titles in the same. Is that we just wanted to do that? I'm very confused on why. And Ava said exactly what I said last week, that there's too many talented women. You can't have one person have both titles. Well, then make that decision already. Yeah.
Why'd you put them on her? I get you put them on her because Julia's hurt. Okay, fine. But you had two matches last week. You could have had Jada Parker beat her. You could have had the other women that wrestled her beat her.
Fallon Henley.
Fallon Henley. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, you had Fallon Henley. You could have had her beat her, but you didn't. You had her win both matches, only for them to vacate the belt the next week. It just, I can't make this make sense. This was really, this is one of the most baffling things I've ever seen. It's probably more baffling than when Solo Sikoa showed up on the main roster at Clash at the Castle and beat up Drew McIntyre, and then on NXT they're like, oh yeah, you got to vacate the North American Championship. I was like, huh? Why? Like don't you want another title in the bloodline? That made no sense either. So this was just a bad decision. I don't understand why she couldn't just rest. Why not give Fallon Henley a rematch or Jada Parker a rematch and have her drop the title that way instead of doing a tournament and a ladder match now at Stand and Deliver, which we've seen that before. We were just at they had a ladder match a couple years ago at Stand and Deliver for the women's championship, and we don't need another one. I don't know. This just felt like a cop out more than anything.
Oh, 100% it was a cop out. And that's the worst part. And that's why the fans turned. Because if you would have done it when she won them, the crowd would have been fine with it. They would have been all about it. But since you had her defend them and they showed that she can do them both and you gave her a taste and the fans a taste of it, that's why they turned. It wasn't a good decision.
You were building her up to be a star. Yeah.
She was, and they just didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. She was dominating 100%. NXT. And you just, now I feel like you've hurt her.
Well, we'll see, right? Possibly. And then we have another triple threat match and possibly another triple threat match because for one, Stephanie Vaquer has two people wanting to battle for her match at Stand and Deliver. And I'm almost 100% sure that's going to be a triple threat match because why would we not want Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordynne Grace, the match everybody wants? Let's throw somebody else in it to make it a triple threat. And with that said, when I was thinking about heavyweight title matches, I was like, dude, you know who needs to be in it? Javon Evans. That guy needs to be in the main event at the WrestleMania of NXT. No, I was thinking Obafemi and Trick Williams, but instead we're getting a triple threat. Like, for being in an era of probably the greatest minds of WWE history booking-wise, possibly ever, what the hell are we doing right now? Why? Like, triple threat matches is the most lazy booking you can do. You know what's even lazier? Having them like 8 times in the WrestleMania weekend. Like, what the fudge are we doing here? And then on top of it, you have this new crew, the Dark State. They attack the 3 people going for it. So what's the point of that? Are they going to play a factor in it? Are we going to have the 3 of them wrestle the 4 of them in a match? Like, why not? Why is it the Dark State attacking other people? Like people that they can wrestle against, the Tony D family, something like, what are we doing here? I'm just lost. I am lost with what this is right now.
I've got nothing. And you know what? They may even do another triple threat with the North American Championship as well. Because Ricky Saints won the North American title and Ethan Page took him out at the end of the show. But Shawn Spears is probably owed a rematch, so we might be getting the 3 AEW guys in a so I don't know if they'll go that direction. It really felt like when the show ended, we were getting Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints as the crowd chanted Tony fumbled as the show went off.
There's another
AEW reference. But they could do another triple threat because Shawn Spears technically gets a rematch. So there you go. Yeah, so it could be Shawn. It could be the 3 AEW guys, Ricky Saints, Shawn Spears, and Ethan Page for the North American Championship at Stand and Deliver as well. So,
but make it make sense because I'm all about Ricky Saints being a champ. He deserves it. He was never a real singles champion in AEW, and he should have been.
No,
but why give it to Shawn Spears to have him lose it 2 weeks later? I don't.
That doesn't. I don't understand that either. Yeah. No. Again, they put it on him to shock you, and now they're like, oh, okay, we probably shouldn't have done that. We never should have taken it off Tony D'Angelo. But we did, and now, just like I don't understand why they do these dumb decisions like that. They put them on for some, one of my New Year's resolutions for WWE was I wanted some shorter title reigns, but I never want them to play hot potato with the belt. I want them to have like 3-month reigns, 6-month reigns, 5-month reigns, 4-month, whatever, but not a 2-week reign. And that just, I don't know. I don't understand that whole decision either. Why take it off of Tony D, who was killing it with the North American title, to put it on Shawn Spears, who held it for 2 weeks and has his group, his faction that's kind of taken off in NXT. Now he doesn't have a championship. I don't get it.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. It's all, and I think it's because they are trying to push this like new AEW narrative in WWE, which is stupid. And I used to always crap on AEW for bringing up WWE, and I'm going to crap on WWE for bringing up AEW. Absolutely. It makes no sense. And I think that's why they're doing it, because I think they piped in and wanted the crowd to chant Tony fumbled. I think that's like what 100%. They wanted. And I never get that. Like, I didn't like when people said that, like, when Dean Ambrose came over, he's been better in AEW. I never thought Triple H and Vince fumbled. I didn't think like, oh, you couldn't make Ambrose work as well as he is as Moxley. Well, you guys fumbled the ball. Oh, Swerve Strickland's a superstar and you guys didn't do anything with him in W. You guys that's not a fumble. Some people work. Everything is situational
Tony
timing
Storm?
when it comes to pro wrestling. Yeah, Tony Storm, he didn't. It's all about what brand you're in. They're two different companies, and some fit in better than others. There's no fumbling. It's so stupid. I hate that shit. Fumbled. You fumbled because when he came over, you wrote him in to win a championship. So that means the other organization fumbled. So dumb.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Nobody fumbled anything. So dumb.
It's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was brought in. I think they told that crowd to chant that, just so you know.
I'm sure they did.
I don't think they did that on their own.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, and now you have potentially three ex-AEW wrestlers competing at Stand and Deliver. So you know they're going to do it even louder in Las Vegas.
Yep. I agree. All right. That was our weekend review for NXT, WWE, Raw, and SmackDown on the build to WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver. And with that said, we are going to do some report cards where we're going to bring up two different situations each, and we are going to grade them from an A to an F. Ryan, what do you got for me?
Well, I was going to open with triple threat matches at WrestleMania, but I think we've beat that horse to death, so we don't need to, because that's an F all the way. But yes. I'm gonna go with a match that I've been kind of pleasantly surprised with the build for WrestleMania, and that's the WrestleMania build for Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna say a B, and here's why. Because I don't give a shit about that match. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. When they announced it, I was like, yawn. But this is one of the matches that Triple H has tried to get me invested in, and I'm actually invested. I thought it was a cool segment to see Drew finally get his win, bragging about how when he doesn't get help from other people, and then Priest put it to him and threw him through the car windshield, and then he was able to make a thing out of it by getting glass in his eye. It feels real. And I even like that Priest was like, when the people came, he was like, no, I'm done. Like, I just wanted to show this guy who's like, you don't talk about me or whatever. And I thought it was good. I'm actually intrigued by the build of this match for a match that I didn't care about at all. So I'll say a B.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say B plus as well. I think that this is the one I didn't want this match. You know, I didn't like what they were doing with Drew McIntyre when they went away from he was hunting the bloodline. He was going after everybody. He had a moment with Roman at the Royal Rumble, and instead we're getting him versus Damian Priest. But even his promo at the beginning of the show when he came out and interrupted Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, you know, he said that he's coming after Cody Rhodes or he's coming after Randy Orton as soon as he's done with the Temu Undertaker that is Damian Priest. So it was I've been pleasantly surprised with this match. I'm invested in it, and that's all I can ask for. So I go B plus.
Yeah, I even like that he said "rest in peace" because he calls him the Temu Undertaker.
After I love that. Yeah.
I thought it was good stuff. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
All right. I want you to grade your intrigue of CM Punk's favor.
Oh, man. I'm going to go B minus. I'm intrigued, but I also, I don't care. At this point, because they've been talking about this since Survivor Series, and, you know, he said it on the road to the Royal Rumble. You know, I have a couple of favors I may cash in at the Rumble. And then he said it at the Elimination Chamber. I have a couple of favors that I may cash in to help me win. And now he's saying it now that we're getting to WrestleMania with the triple threat with him and Roman and Seth. And so I'm kind of to the point where, please just reveal it already and tell us on SmackDown. Do not reveal it at WrestleMania. I don't think we can go much longer not knowing what the stakes are, what the favor is. But I don't think it's a title match for night 2 of WrestleMania. That doesn't make any sense. He hasn't, other than that one promo he cut after the Elimination Chamber, he really hasn't had any interaction with John Cena or Cody Rhodes. So that doesn't make any sense. And then it doesn't make, but again, with nothing being on the line, is it really that big of a deal that, is he turning heel? If Roman Reigns turns on, or if Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns and aligns with CM Punk, does that make CM Punk a heel? Can they really have a heel CM Punk right now in WWE when he's kind of their guy with Cody Rhodes and Roman? So I don't know. And then if Seth does it, who cares? There's nothing on the line. So I'm going to go B minus, but I'm intrigued, but at the same time, I'm also just ready to get to the reveal.
Yeah, I think I'm about the same. Like I care about it, but I don't. But I am intrigued because it's the only intriguing thing with this match. So yeah, I agree with you. I'll say a B
Yeah,
minus as well. Good call. All
yeah.
right, what's your last one?
Let's go with Cody Rhodes and John Cena's 3 back-to-back-to-back promos that they've had.
I'm gonna say a C. This one was the best one, and I think it was about a B plus. I don't think it was an A, and I think the other two were probably average at best. They haven't really been great. And I think the thing is, because for one, I mean, Cody didn't talk much in the first two. This was the first one he really talked. I do like that they got physical in this one, but other than that, too, like I said, John Cena hasn't given explanations on why he truly turned. He's really not being heelish. It's just John Cena, but with a mean face. So yeah, I'm gonna say a C right now on these 3 promos. They could be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go C minus. I've been kind of disappointed in heel Cena, both back-to-back weeks, last week and the week before, where he was just going at the fans and regurgitating everything that he said the week prior. And then, yeah, he hasn't given us a reason as to why he turned on why he sold his soul to The Rock, why he's doing what he's doing, and yeah, and then Cody Rhodes, he should be wanting to fight John Cena after everything John Cena did to him at Elimination Chamber. There should be no more time for talking, and they should just be fighting. So yeah, C minus. It's been fine, but it hasn't been what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, agreed. All right, last one from me. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Grade the Hall of Fame being a standalone show this year.
I'll go B plus. I think that's actually a really good decision as opposed to doing it after SmackDown. The only thing I don't like though is, the timing of it. It's on when is it? Is it the week Friday of WrestleMania weekend, or
it's
is it
Friday still? It's Friday.
Yeah, it's just a
Friday,
standalone. Yeah. I think they should do Stand and Deliver. I'm sad about Stand and Deliver because that's moved to 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 12:30 Eastern time for night one, the same day as night one of WrestleMania, and I just feel like that's not enough time between the end of that show to the start of WrestleMania. So I feel like Stand and Deliver always gets lost in the shuffle in the build. So, but the Hall of Fame being a standalone show, I think is the right decision. You don't need it after SmackDown. It doesn't need to be. I mean, SmackDown's long enough as it is with a 3-hour show, and then you put it after SmackDown. It's another hour and a half. That's a long night, especially for the East Coast. So yeah, perfect. I think it's B plus. I think it's perfect.
I agree with you. The only thing I don't like about it is the prices. They start like at $300 or something just to get in to watch the Hall of Fame. It's the right decision, but once again, I think it's a TKO money grab decision.
Oh, 100%. That's all it is. Yeah.
Really weird. But other than that, it is the right decision. Hall of Fame needs to feel important. And of course, this year it is because it's Triple H. All right.
Of course.
Yeah, that's our report card, y'all. All right. Let's get into our weekly segment and close the show. It's our LVD and MVDs where we choose our least valuable, most valuable dude or dudettes for the week. Doesn't mean we hate or love them. It just means we thought they were the least or best booked of the week. Who do you got? Who's your LVD, Ryan?
What a difference a week makes, because last week she was my MVD and this week Stephanie Vaquer is my LVD. Just not so much in how she's being used or the way she's been booked, but the fact that she defended both championships last week and looked dominant, looked like a future star. The crowd was behind her. Everybody loved her. To this week, it was, okay, so yeah, you did that, but now we're going to take the North American Championship off of you. You're going to still be the women's champion, but you lose your other title, and we're going to put it in a tournament. We're going to have a ladder match at Stand and Deliver. So, and she's just like, okay, no problem. It's just, I don't know. It just kind of felt like a huge letdown for her. And again, all love for Stephanie Vaquer. Nothing she did wrong. I just did not like this decision to take it off of her. They could have had her lose it. They should have had her maybe drop it last week and end in NXT with a shocking ending, because they closed the show with the North American title instead of the women's match. They could have had her drop it then. But I don't know. It was just a questionable decision. So Stephanie Vaquer, LVD.
Good pick. And it's going to look like we're bashing women because I'm going with Io Sky. And the reason why is because she is the champion of the women's division. and yet she feels like she doesn't even belong in her championship match at WrestleMania. She has been nothing but a secondary person. They're pushing her head away. She can't get things going. I feel like everybody now really wants Rhea and Bianca instead. It just feels not fitting for her. It's very disappointing. So Io Sky is my LVD of the week.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. And yeah, it just goes to show we don't need all these damn triple threats.
No, we do not. All right, ending on a positive. Who is your MVD of the week?
So, because we're bashing women, I'm gonna praise the women. So I'm gonna give it to Naomi. Naomi, that was the best promo I've ever heard from her. She's doing some of the best work as a heel, and this is what she should have been doing since the moment she came back to the WWE. But I am more excited about this match, whenever it is, because they haven't formally announced it for WrestleMania yet. So whenever it is, knowing Triple H, it'll be on like the Smackdown before Mania. But but whenever this match is, I'm more excited about this match, Jade Cargill versus Naomi, than I am Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, than I am the triple threat match with Bianca, Io, and Rhea, and even what they're doing with Liv Morgan and Raquel against Bayley and potentially Lyra Valkyria. Like, I'm more excited about Jade and Naomi, and a lot of that has to do with the work that Naomi's doing right now. She is, this has been the best built match that they've done, and I'm like really excited about this. So Naomi's killing it right now, so she gets my MVD of the week.
That's a great pick. Great pick. I'm going with Cody Rhodes, believe it or not. I thought he did have the better promo against John Cena. Yeah. I thought he hung. John Cena usually embarrasses a lot of people and they can't hang. He even embarrassed The Rock one time. I mean, he's usually finds ways because he insults them personally, but I thought Cody Rhodes hung. He even stated he's not afraid of his promos and to go back and forth. And he got the upper hand on him. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes as my MVD of the week. He kind of made it a little bit more intriguing, this match happening. So
yeah, no, I like this, and that's a good pick, and I like a lot of what Cody had to say. I still think John Cena kind of got the edge after watching it twice. Yeah. But the first time I thought for sure Cody won, but now we see what Cody Rhodes does on SmackDown and on Raw if he can do this without John Cena. So we'll see how he goes from here.
Agreed. All right, that's our WWE edition. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, 5-star, whatever you need to do. And if you just want to listen to me talk, you can catch me on my_wrestling_opinion at all social media outlets. And with me, as always, is my man,
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow me on all the social media platforms, especially on TikTok while we still have it. Go follow us on YouTube at Two Dudes with Attitudes, where we're starting to get views, we're starting to get likes. We got some comments this week. Somebody commented on how Diesel and HBK have fallen off because those are the real Two Dudes with Attitudes. But they were commenting on our looks. But hey, we appreciate the love, we appreciate the support, and go and keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep loving us, and help tell everybody about your favorite two dudes on the internet. And if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, we appreciate all the love and support there. Go drop us a 5-star rating and review. Let's get our name out there, and let's help us become the best podcast out there.
Heck yeah, Two Dudes Wolfpack, we out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point.